Hi, I'm Ryan, and this here is Pepe. He is one of our Humboldt penguins here at Brookfield Zoo Chicago. He just turned 12. In the wild, you would expect to find a penguin like 15 years old would be a pretty old penguin, but here at the zoo, they can live to be upwards of 30 years old because they have really good health care here and they're able to get food every day. They don't need to worry about finding their food or worry about any predators or any human dangers that they might run into in the wild. They grow to be about just a bit over 2 feet is pretty standard for them. They eat mostly fish in the wild. They might eat certain squids or a crustacean here and there, but they're really looking for things like anchovies and smelt. Yeah, so this behavior he's doing right here is called flipper paddling. It is a thing that they do. It can be kind of a courtship behavior a lot of times. Pepe here was partially hand-reared, so he's pretty good with people. So he was hand-raised because we wanted a penguin that was really friendly with people. Penguins are a really interesting bird when it comes to hand-rearing because a lot of birds, when you hand-rear them, they become fully imprinted where they can't really get along well with other birds and they're mostly interested in people. But here we have a lot of Humboldt penguins who were hand-reared and they're also very successful in breeding and get along really well with the other birds. So Pepe's favorite thing to do is to come out to the encounters where you can come see him. He loves to be the star of the show. He's a very jealous penguin, so if we have multiple penguins out here for the penguin encounters and another penguin is getting a lot of attention, he will run up and be like, "Hey, why aren't you paying attention to me? I'm here." He loves to meet new people. He's a very curious bird. When he comes out here, we'll give him certain objects and he'll kind of make a little makeshift nest in one of the corners, bringing interesting objects to try and entice others to come join him. Yeah, so that little head shaking thing is like a nesting behavior where he's kind of enticing someone to come join him. Pepe here has not had any offspring because he is a bachelor still, so he doesn't have a mate right now. So you can tell Pepe apart thanks to his cable tie on his right flipper. He has a light blue cable tie and he has a black rubber one on his left. You can look at those colored bands. If they have one on their right flipper, that means that they are a male penguin. And if they have one on their left flipper, that means that they're a female penguin. And if you see two birds that have the same colored cable tie on the alternating flippers, that actually means that they are a bonded pair. All of the penguins have their own kind of speckle pattern on their chest. It would be really, really hard for us to tell them apart using that, but that's kind of how they can tell each other apart. In the wild, you would find these guys off the coast of Chile and Peru. They're named for the stream that they fish in, the Humboldt stream or the Humboldt current. They live in really big colonies of over hundreds of birds. Here we have about 29 Humboldt penguins at the zoo. They need to have a nice little colony so they can kind of get all that social enrichment that they need. So that is their vocalization. We call it a bray because it sounds kind of like a donkey bray. They use it for a few things. Sometimes they just kind of use it as kind of a way of stating hey, this is my space, this is my territory. They'll also use it to find each other in a crowd. So like I said, in the wild there are hundreds of penguins in the same area, and obviously they can get kind of lost in the crowd, just a big sea of black and white. So that's kind of how they'll call out to each other and then they can come running towards each other. So thanks for joining us, and if you want to come to the Brookfield Zoo Chicago, you can come here and meet Pepe. And if you want to get a more close interaction with him, you can actually come to our penguin encounters. You might get to pet him and kind of see him a bit more up close. So if you can't make it to the encounter, you can come out to our Rocky Shores exhibit and you can see Pepe out there with his light blue cable tie on the right flipper.